this line here will be your shoulder line, right? Let's say this is your normal 3 neck depths and 3 neck widths. Then of course, divide your shoulder measurements after marking your neck width and your neck depth. Divide your shoulder measurement by 2. If your shoulder measurement is 40, divided by 2 will be about 7 inches. You make a mark there. From this point, come down by 1 inch. This will be your shoulder slope, right? So this will be your shoulder slope. So after marking your neck line and your shoulder slope, now to calculate your armhole depth, you have to divide your chest measurement or your bust measurement by 6. Add 1.5 to whatever you have, right? 36 divided by 6. I have 6 inches plus 1.5. What I have here is 7.5. That's 7.5. So if I am marking on my pattern paper, I will mark exactly 7.5. That's what I want you to understand. But if you're marking directly on your fabric, you should add ½ inch to whatever you have as your armhole measurement. So since I'm marking on my pattern paper, I will say 7.5, right? If I'm marking directly on my fabric, I'll just add the ½ inch here and mark 8 inches. So this now becomes your armhole. So this now becomes your armhole depth, right? So I said if you're marking directly on your fabric, you just add ½ inch. So that means your chest line, you mark it up to this point. But since I'm marking, or since you'll be marking on your pattern paper, you mark exactly 7.5, like this, right? Then while cutting on your material, you can then add the ½ inch at this point. That ½ inch will serve as your joining allowance. So you now add the ½ inch on your fabric. If you're transferring this pattern to your fabric, you now add this ½ inch. But if you're marking directly on your fabric, no need of making it like this. You can just add the ½ inch at this line. So now to get the armhole curve, you divide whatever you have. Divide whatever you have here by 2. Divide it by 2. Go in here at this point by ½ inch. Then at this your chest line, you can either draw it to the end or you do it like this. At this chest line, you know this now becomes your chest line, right? Your chest line. So at this chest line, divide your bust measurement by 4. My bust measurement divided by 4 is 9 inch. It's 9 inches. So I'm going to connect this point, and as well this point together to get my armhole curve. So this is it. So this is how you get your accurate armhole measurements. So no need of marking this ½ inch on your pattern paper. When you are about to transfer it on your fabric, that's when you will mark this ½ inch. You will add it into your fabric. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.